When you were considering an online business, what were your big questions? What were your big fears?
I think my initial fears were it was going to feel really heavy because we'd run traditional business at the same time. It wasn't that long before that we'd closed a traditional business. I was working in the employee setting, and I was worried that starting another business would be another opportunity to disappoint myself, if I'm honest with you, because it felt heavy. I knew what went into a traditional business. I knew the behind the scenes work that would go in. I knew the front of house things that had to go into it. And we were feeling really, we felt like failures, if I'm honest. So when I considered a new way, I knew I wanted to be my own boss because I was feeling very stagnant in the corporate world. I knew that I wanted to make an impact.
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted to feel lit up and have purpose and passion and impact in my life. I knew that I wanted an abundant income where I wasn't capped. But I didn't want to do all the stuff behind the scenes in business. I wanted to do what I love as a woman, and that was creating relationships and nurturing and making an impact and living a lifestyle in accordance to my values and my family's values. So that's what I was looking for. Did I expect that here? No, if I'm honest. All of that was unveiled to me each step along the way.
Yep, I can relate so much to that. I wanted all the good parts that I enjoyed and not the stress.
Yeah.
Not the, we had traditional business too, and I'd been an employee. So I didn't want you have to show up at this time and do it this way, which I was good at. I could adapt and be good at that. But when you then have to do that 9 to 5, whether you're having a good week or a not so good week, and for me in corporate, it wasn't 9 to 5. It was, 6 a.m. until 7. And there was that, half hour break in the day. And what I was missing was fun. I love collaborating. I want my own business and independence, but I don't want to have to answer to anyone. And I want to have fun when I feel fun. And I want to get to work and be passionate about what I'm creating and doing. Purpose was so important to me after I learned the hard way of doing a job, being highly paid, but unfulfilled. Like I swore that I would never do that again. So I knew that I wanted the purpose as well. When I was working in marketing and corporate, it was a great job on paper, but I just remember feeling like I don't even make impact. It doesn't really matter what I'm doing, and just feeling lost in a big, corporation of, does it even matter what I'm doing? And the fun part for me, I remember just trying to always fabricate fun in the corporate world, like having casual Friday, because then you could wear jeans to work, and I would buy everyone a Freddo. It's Freddo Friday. Like I was struggling to just find the fun, and even then, I would start an email with, "Hi everyone, I hope you had a great weekend." My boss is like, "It's not professional. Just write hi all." And then the 3 things, you need to break everything down into the 3 things. And I'd be like, okay, yes. So I adapted, but I knew that I wasn't being all that I could be. And like what you said, I had given up almost hope that it existed, that I could jump out of bed feeling energized and that every day might be different. Like what's going to happen today? The predictability, just that robotic, this is what I do every single day, every single week. I love variety. So even now, working online for 17 years, I love that I don't have a proper desk, that I just go from room to room and place to place, and it just comes with me. Yeah. And it's around my moods. A business that can match my mood. So when I slay, I slay. When I pray and rocking in the corner, I pray. And all of the flavors in between, that I don't have someone demanding something of me. And that allowed me to really be able to have all of the seasons of being a young mum and having mess and it just being hectic. And then, you know, moving into my, you know, 30s and now even in my 40s, and just life on my terms, and how it's been able to support having my kids through all of those seasons and chapters too. That a business is there that holds you when you need it the most, and that you can hold for other people as well.
And do you think that's why so many women sit in so much skepticism about this profession? Because so many of us associate work or a job with something that is draining, with something where we have to check our soul at the door, where you just do it to pay the bills. And, you know, when you look at something like this, when women are working on their health and wellness, they're working on things that really light them up, that bring that fulfillment and passion. It's almost like, is that normal? Like, that can really ignite that skepticism, right?
Yes, I was so skeptical. So skeptical. In fact, I said no for almost 2 years, which was really wild because nothing in my life was going well. It's not like I could have went backwards, let's be real. But I think I had so many stories around what it was, which again was really wild because I wasn't even educating myself on what it actually was. I kind of looked at it as sales. I looked at it as using social media, and they were two things that were not my strong point. And I also assumed that to get successful in something like that, I would almost have to become something else. And I was at a stage in my life when I already felt like I had to get up and force a smile every day. So the thought of actually then adding another layer to actually get paid, now you've got to turn up happy and try and sell something, you know, like I was just like, I don't have the energy for it. But I think what really made the difference for me was watching the variety of women, that they actually were so authentic. They might not be what I could do, but here's someone over here doing it a little bit different that actually screams to me. Like, I could do that, or I could do that with a little piece of that. Like, and I felt that if I could actually just rediscover who I was when I was happy and take people on a journey with me to discover that, not only could I up-level my happiness, but I might also be able to bring other people with me. And I think that was when I got obsessed with this business. When I started to watch other women win next to me, I was like, wow, not only can I do something really cool here, but I can take people from A to B and celebrate them at the end as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. What about you, Kieran? Were you skeptical? What was your skepticism level?
When I look back in hindsight, I can really see that the 3 years of skepticism, because we were good friends and I just didn't get the vision that you were showing me. But when I really unpack that, I can see how much of the skepticism was really just driven by my lack of self-worth and belief that I could be successful at something like this. I had chosen very early on in life that I was just going to be a stay-at-home mum. Again, lack of belief that I could be more. And that is still such a high value of mine. I personally never would have compromised being home with my children to have a career. However, I just, over the years of just being a mum, my self-worth just plummeted more and more. I had no confidence in myself. I wasn't doing anything to stretch myself and grow. And then also, of course, my financial capacity was declining as well. So, but yeah, there was no part of me that could identify as a businesswoman. And I think what was so beautiful about this business and this business model is when I got to a point where the resistance I was feeling, being so financially capped, that began to outweigh the resistance of having to find a way.
Yes.
And that's what opened up my mind to take a look, because I really had no choice. And what I found was this beautiful safety net to hold me through a period of my life where I couldn't see how I could do it for myself.
Yeah.
I didn't have those conditionings. I didn't have any evidence in my past that I could be successful at a business. So it was completely the unknown. But in the unknown were just all of these incredible women just saying, well, I'm holding your hand and you just need to take this step. And I could always take the one step. That was always in the realm of my possibility. It was always within my very small glass ceiling at the time. And little by little, I just raised that glass ceiling one step at a time, fully supported. And I truly believe to this day, without that beautiful safety net to transition me to the empowered woman I feel that I am today, who does identify as a powerful businesswoman, I don't believe there is any other model out there that could have supported me in that gap so powerfully. And and how quickly it changed my belief and therefore my life.
Yeah, how it can meet each of the seasons, not ever be too much or too little, and that you get to opt in for how much of that growth and how fast you want to go. Mm-hmm. I think my skepticism, I saw a lot of ordinary people creating really good things. That gave me hope that I could. My fear was not feeling cool, like, I don't want to be one of those people. I definitely had a too cool for school, or feeling like I was above it, that, that's okay for salespeople. And, I watched my friend thrive and I just told myself, well, I can't, because, she's just loud and charismatic and already successful. And like you, once there was no more choice, it wasn't worth me working from a part-time job and paying daycare fees. And after tax, I literally worked out I'd get $5 an hour to go, get up, get the kids, drop them off, go through all of that drama, and then go be professional at the job and, watch the clock and have that mum brain on. $6 an hour wasn't going to be worth it. Like, I'd rather be staying in my cash envelopes and, staying in rice and beans is what my husband calls it. So that discomfort, like you, the discomfort of I've just stopped dreaming. Like you were saying earlier, seeing women in their power and being happy and being lit up, it used to annoy me. And that's sad, because that's when you're not yourself. That's when you feel like it's not possible for me and I have to compete. And that's when we're out of alignment, when we feel like, well, we're not enough and I'll be judged. And so I feel better off being grumpy and shut down. And I was definitely in that place, but I was tired of being in that place, of thinking I won't travel again, I won't go to a nice ball and go away. And I just put this, stay-at-home mum box around myself and felt guilty and stressed out about it, because you're supposed to be happy. This is what you wanted and this is what you've asked for, so suck it up, The default life, just be happy. You can't expect to have to buy your own home. You shouldn't expect, just it's okay to settle. And I had started settling. And I think that's where my anxiety was that thought of, yep, I just need to settle and this is it. Why doesn't anyone talk about how awful this can feel? That feeling of looking around going, I should be happy, I'll put on my brave face, but this sucks. All right, so if we think about doing business in a way that ticks all the boxes, like what are the boxes that we've been able to tick that we want to express to other women, thinking, okay, if I could do this, what would be possible for me? Just like in our real talk way, what has ticked the box for you of what you have been able to create here? In how many years have you been here now?
I'm going into 7. Yeah. Which is, it feels like such a wild ride. It feels at the same time like I started yesterday, but when I zoom out, it's like, wow, like who I've become and what I've created. I'm still pinching myself about that. But I think the first box that when I zoom out and take a look at this, that I feel really in my power and proud to have ticked off here is that I have been able to set myself up to live life in accordance to my values. So I really do value freedom and family time and flexibility. So the fact that I get to own my own time each day, like that's huge for me. Back when I started, it was working 40 hours a week, 48 weeks of the year. And having that time back in my home as a woman, as a wife, as a mama, that's been such a gift here. And I think the second box that has really illuminated for me is being able to create my own soul-driven mission within the bigger mission that we have here. I love that when I could lean into the global mission of inspiring healthy living around the world and helping people create their masterpiece life. But what I really uncovered here was the mess that I had in life when I came into this. It really did become my magic.
Yeah.
And the magic has led to a mission that I can now serve other women through. And I think every woman has her own mission, which is so beautiful about this. We all get to bring our stories. We all get to bring that pain and turn it into our power and serve others through our life experience with this as a vehicle. Like it's mind-blowing to me. And that's something that I just feel that emotional sincerity and that emotional reward every day. And this isn't work. This isn't a business. This comes from your soul.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Sign me up again.
Here, you can sign up here.
Yeah, I love it. It's such a good point you make about you get to, because when I started, the dreams were just in dust.
Yeah.
I was too scared to look at them, just embarrassing, a bit of shame.
Yeah.
But you do get to just start to believe again in a gentle way. And I think one of the most important things for me, that early box that it ticked was there's no pressure.
Yes.
There wasn't, because I literally had suffered mental health challenges coming out of all of that stress. My nervous system was still on high alert years later, and I just felt like I can't handle stress. I can do so much, when I'm in my lane and I'm not stressed, but if there's pressure, and that there was never any pressure. And so early on, for one of, the mentoring for me of other, powerful and empowered women who were simply further down the track. They weren't better. They were generous of spirit and wisdom, and they had no financial interest or gain to pour into me, but they did. I was skeptical again. But over time, it just kept happening, and there was what's the catch here? And 17 years later, there's no catch. I get to see women get to fill their cup here, and when their cup is so full, you just have to start spilling out and helping others, putting that hand out to another woman who is where you were, just a few steps back. And that to me is the ultimate pay it forward business, that I didn't know existed. Like out there before, I didn't know that really did exist. I didn't even know I was missing community.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things we don't often talk about, because we live in this world where we're so capable as women and we're so highly adaptable and flexible in what we can hold and what we can do, and so powerful. But biologically, we are actually designed to collaborate. And so my highest value is freedom also. And I know that myself, and I would say all women generally operate on a higher energy and frequency when their life feels light. And so the thought of carrying a business on my own feels like an extremely heavy burden that I know would never bring out the best in me. My family, my children, my partner would never get the best of me if I was carrying that burden every single day. Yeah. And so what I love is bringing all of our gifts to the table in this business model. It lightens the load for every other woman because we're all just carrying the part that feels really good for us. Yeah. And you get to just unleash your beautiful gifts in this space to help other women. And it's just the most empowering feeling every day. Like, we genuinely are having fun. We genuinely love what we do. We wake up excited to do it. And I can't think of any other time in my life I've woken up excited to go make a paycheck. And, you know, it just, and it's down from, yes, the emotional revenue is actually the most rewarding part. Like the fuel that gives me every single day. You know, I'm just so inspired and excited for life. But it's also the little things, the decisions that I get to make for my family, like having a cleaner do, like, how empowering is it to have someone else come in your home and do everything that you don't want to do so that you can actually sit with your children, so you can actually do the things that are your highest values. Someone folds the washing for you, someone's doing the dishes. Like, they're the moments that I actually sit there and go, I am so blessed. Yeah. I am so blessed how light and free I feel in my life every day. And I don't care if that's uncool. I'll be the most. I actually feel the opposite. I'm like, I'm the coolest, luckiest person in the world because I've unlocked this, and there are women out there that do not know that this is available and it's meant for them, and they're worthy of creating abundance, being themselves and having fun.
Yeah, that's so true. And I get to work in my Ugg boots.
Yeah,
the other one.
that's the best. Except it's never.
I can be professional up here
half the time.
But I've got my Uggs on. Proof. Ugg boots. What boxes did it tick for you?
I love that you mentioned that, because for me it was leverage. It was, I actually had come from traditional business, which I really enjoyed. I owned a dance studio and I loved teaching, and I loved the meditative state of dance. For me, it was something that just filled my cup up so much. But financially, I just felt like I could not work harder. I could not get my marketing out more. I could not, I was capped. I was a hard worker, but there was only so many hours I could do every single day. And I felt like I couldn't continue to work to that caliber forever. Whereas when I watched this business model explained, it was almost like a light bulb moment for me, because I was like, this is ingenious. Like, I do a good job and then I teach other women how to do a good job, and then they teach other women how to do a good job. And this becomes our entire organization. And the emotional revenue, I at start, to be honest, selfishly, I was just like, this is a really smart business model. Like, this is a franchise system that is on steroids. The emotional revenue came when I started listening to their stories, when I started watching what it meant for them, when I got out of my survival mode and I started witnessing other women break out of their survival mode. It was just so damn empowering. So that leverage to work smarter, not harder, because no one had ever taught me that. School certainly hadn't. My parents hadn't. It was, to me, you just keep moving along. And the second one, I think, was the actual independence to be able to create something brilliant, but on my terms. And I'd always loved that about business. I always had known deep down that I was going to get successful at something, because I knew that when I made my mind up, I didn't know how, I didn't know what, I didn't even know if I was capable, but something in there was like, it's going to happen. No matter what I tried, it just didn't seem to open the doors for me. When I said yes to this, and I started coming out of the comfort zone, but realizing that I didn't die, that I could keep moving forward, and that actually it was quite rewarding, and that's where all the great stuff was happening, and where I was actually feeling really stretched and empowered, I started realizing, wow, this could be the thing. When I watched the women share their stories and their incomes and their impact, I was starting to think, wow, what if that could be me? What if this weird network marketing is my model to get successful? And then when I just started zoning in and listening more to their stories, when they were living in their values and they were talking about their freedom and being home with their children, like, that was my greatest. Like, I love being a teacher and I love teaching my children about life, and I can't do that when I'm at work 40, 50 hours a week and they're at school. So my biggest elevation in this business was to get more time back with my children and to be able to do that at the time as an independent mum was mind-blowing. And, you know, back on what you said before, Kira, I don't feel like women know that exists.
Yeah.
We can't just continue to keep working harder. The system doesn't support us.
And so many women come in and, you know, we can dabble, we can see, is this my tribe? Is this, you know, are these my people? Can I create a little extra over here while I'm doing the main thing? So many women come in already like you did for the first few years. You were working a full-time, you know, you were at the peak of your career in public relations. And a lot of people would look at you and go, are you crazy? But meanwhile, you'd been earning and learning on the side. Yeah. And really it was a culmination of all of your incredible skill set.
Yeah.
And the big thing about corporate, and this is what I just don't think that a lot of women realize, is every hour that you're investing in someone else's dreams, someone else's bottom line, you never ever get paid on that again. You keep the skills, but you never ever get paid on it again. When I understood that here, that because I'm like you, if I love it, I'll be good at it. I'll back myself. If I can put my hand on my heart and this is something that I can talk about really honestly and freely, I will make it work. And to know that I would be paid on that for the rest of my life without the risk and without the mess and the fuss of business that I had attempted all of those other times, I think that that's huge. You know, that you can, it's not even a time-based business. It's moments and it's skills, you know, and it's being honest. I feel like we get paid to share our honest story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the mess. In fact, the mess is the most important thing. No one cares about your highlight reel until they know what was crap in your life, until they can identify with, yeah, I feel like that. And I feel like there's two categories of women who come in my observation. There's the, I'm done. I'm done. Something has to give. And I was in that category, like financially desperate, emotionally just fatigued and burnt out. And I just wanted to watch. I did just want to be around an energy that might rub off on me, you know, and turns out that's exactly what happens when you get here. And then there's the other woman, the professional woman who goes, I want more. I'm capped. I've got a great life and it's my time for more. Yeah. Like I can fly. I have more to give. They're not in that threshold of I'm done, but it's more like, let's play. What can we... And I saw moments of I'm done, but for, you know, in my observation for you and some professional women that we have, it's, I can do this as well. It's and. It's not or.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a misconception out there is, oh, you have to leave behind the number one thing. I think that our superpower here is you get to alongside everything else that you love.
Absolutely.
And when you've got a system, I used to think I didn't like systems. Now I'm obsessed with them because the system works with or without me. Yeah. So when you come into a system that is well proven and is effective, then you just get to be part of the system. You just get to, you know, press the button and do the thing.
Yeah.
And our thing here is we take care of women. We take care of people. We take care of people and we have them share their real story, share their results, their honest results, never any need to inflate it because I strongly believe women have an amazing BS meter. Yeah. So there's no use trying to dance around that. And that just blows my mind that every single time that I invest in upskilling myself, I invest my time, I'm being paid on that potentially forever. You know, 17 years, I'm living proof of, I still have customers from 17 years ago, from my first round of story sharing. I still have team, you know, that have been with me 16, 17, 10, 12, 14. And this is the real deal. Yeah. It's a conversation at a time. It's an honest, real, raw conversation at a time. No one likes being sold to. Women feel this business before the logic says, I'm going to jump into that, head first. They feel, what if this could work? And that's certainly how I came in.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to the woman who maybe likes the sound of, what is Soulful Women in Business? Why have we called it that? What does it mean to you? Why are we loving this umbrella identity for a collective of women from all ages, all backgrounds, all different skill sets and all different levels, all different desires and reasons why? What is it that you're excited about of what we're creating here?
I think it is the unity that we get to hold, that it is safe to want more as a woman, whatever that more is for you.
Women who want more.
Right? I think so many of us can retract and feel guilty for that, like you said before, when the reality is when we own that, it really does expand us. So I think soulful to me means a community where women feel so safe to really be in their soul and to acknowledge that more. But it's one thing to acknowledge it. It's another thing to actually take the action and create that more for yourself. So I guess in addition to that, it's being around a community of inspired women. And to me, that's in spirit, and that we really get to follow our intuition and our heart and do life, do motherhood, do health and wellness, do spirituality, and do business from that deep place within. So I just love that we get to champion that and be loud and proud about that, and that they get to really create their more here.
I love it. It's contagious. It does rub off. It does rub off. What about you?
I feel like we're a community of women who follow their joy. And really that's our mission, is to inspire women to follow their joy, that they're worthy, that they're capable, and that is for them. Yeah. We've been sold this lie that we have to do this, we have to live in this box, we should hold all of this stress, and if we can't hold it indefinitely, there's something wrong with us. But
Amen. Hallelujah.
And that then plays out into all areas of our life. We cannot possibly have the most fulfilling, peaceful, joy-filled relationships with our children or our partners or our extended family and friends when we're so burdened by life. And, I love that every day I get to wake up and be an example and show in leadership for the other women in my team that I design the life that I love. Yeah. And every day I'm following my joy. And it is the most freeing, I just right now, the air that I can breathe. And I just honestly feel overcome with gratitude on a daily basis. And I pinch myself that life gets to be this good. And it's available for everyone if they're open to opening their mind to take a look.
I love that. And when you were saying that, just that example for our kids.
Yeah.
Lauren says, just be that hero that you want your kids to look up to.
Yeah.
That just came to me when you were saying that.
And I already see that in my two girls, that's the greatest gift, is being a different example for them.
Yeah.
And seeing what I can speak over their life at such an early age, and how open their mind is to seeing a different way for themselves already is so exciting.
Yeah.
I think for me, Soulful Women in Business represents a chance to move in alignment. Much like Kira, I agree that society doesn't really support us to live in our most flourished state a lot of the time. So I love that this business, I really think that it's just magic that you get to pick it up regardless of what season you're in, and still make something of it that feels aligned and connected and truthful to you. Because to be honest, soulful can open an array of emotions for different people, but none of them are wrong in this space.
Yes.
Yeah.
So someone has just said, okay, what's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? Okay, I'm in, here's my $50.
Yeah.
to take a chance on this, what would you say to them?
Yeah.
The first thing I would say is, why are you really here? I believe, well, I know for me, this was wildly outside my comfort zone coming into this. I was worried about what people would think, if I might fail. I didn't have the confidence and the belief that I have today. Yeah. So it was made clear to me in my early days that my why, if I was clear on why I really wanted to do this, it could actually become my rocket fuel to making me just take that one step outside of my comfort zone. And it really was, and it still is today. The why evolves as you go. But I think just having clarity on that when you come in, and sometimes we don't want to voice the real why. I know it probably took me a year to give my real why here. But just if you feel that within you and you're honest with yourself and you're truthful in that, then that becomes a thing that just helps you move that little bit more in this space. It becomes that emotional anchor.
Yeah, I love that. And what would I say? I would say, give this the biggest yes and possibility that you can as quickly as you can, because there is no fail. There is no wrong. Say yes when you want to say no, because this is the safest place that you will ever find to grow that you can ever imagine. My original why was I wanted to find myself again. I wanted to find my happy again, and I found that quickly. And, you know, our team mantras are so important. Our community mantras of, you're a blessing in our community, whether you do a little or a lot. That meant everything to me. And that you go at your own pace. That there's not that expectation or stress or pressure that exists in so many other areas of our life, that this can be a third place, a safe place where nothing's expected of you, where you can go, just find that breath. You know, a lot of women come to us, the cup is empty, it's dried out. And we get to feel that first and trust in the process. Yeah, Kira, what would you say?
Well, if I was talking to myself when I first came in, I was the overwhelmed, frazzled, stay-at-home mum. And I would say that in the most loving way, overwhelm is just a story. It's a perspective, and you can change your perspective and your story to one that is going to serve you in this space. And it might have actually been you that helped me reframe that very disempowering story. And I just really learnt to get leverage on myself by just focusing on what was the next right step, because every other step is noise that is irrelevant until you're at that step. You climb a ginormous mountain by just taking one step at a time. And it just reduced the noise for me. And it was always in the realm of my possibility. This is the secret formula, I believe, to success. Take a step that's outside your comfort zone, but make sure it's in the realm of your possibility so it doesn't decrease your personal power and you lose hope and belief. And as long as you're taking a step that's outside but still in the realm, you are consistently growing in a way that is supportive and that is going to get you to where you want to go eventually in the same amount of time as someone else, even though you didn't see the big picture initially. So I would say that. I would also say that certainty is the most powerful frequency there is. Yeah. And it wasn't until 12 months in that I stopped being half in and I made a full body yes decision. I'd had no certainty how, but I had certainty that I was a full yes. Yeah. And that's when the results began to match, just being all in and just playing full out. And that's when my life just transformed because of this business.
Yeah. Beautiful. It's been amazing watching you do that, stretch that comfort zone each month.
Yeah.
Just that little bit beyond to...
Well, we think when we're going to reach a place where suddenly we've grown so much that we would no longer feel the fear, but that's not how. There's always a new glass ceiling. You just have to accept, no matter where you are, we're all feeling a glass ceiling. We're just in different chapters and seasons of that.
We're not limited here.
That's the flashing sign. Go this way, because that's your glass ceiling that you need to break through.
I love it. I love that secret formula. Kat?
For me, if particularly talking to myself and also a brand new person coming in, it's be very mindful of the opinions and the energy that you're taking on board. A very wise woman said to me when I first started, if you wouldn't live their life, don't take their advice, which was really great for me because at the time of saying yes to this, I had a lot of people very loud around me that were miserable. And I had never made the distinction that their choices in life had led them to be miserable, that it was their choices. And yet here they were being very loud about the choices that they thought I should make and shouldn't be making. So I really had to get clear on, well, whose opinion should matter to me? Who is living the life that I want? Who's getting more time with their children? Who has more freedom? Who has more money in the bank? Who has a lifestyle that they get to wake up on a Monday and do what they want? Because that's what I want. And then I just learned to mirror and model their actions, their energy in a way that felt aligned to me. So that was probably one of the biggest things for me coming into this was, yes, everybody's going to have an opinion, but I actually don't have to listen to them all.
Your opinion matters the most. They're not paying the bills.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Kimberly, hit me.
Okay.
What do you love about fruits, veggies, and berries and good fats in a capsule?
Such a hard-hitting question. So serious. What's there not to love to start with? I think for me, I love that they're all natural and that they're whole food based. I never believed in putting something synthetic into my body, let alone my kids every day. So I love that they're all natural, whole food based, but a big thing for me as a mama of 3 is immunity.
Huge.
Full stop.
What I love about fruit and veggies in a capsule, what part don't you get? The fruit and veggies or the capsule? That still just amazes me. It blows me away. What I had to know, because I had a bit of a nutrition inspector hat on, and I didn't really understand or believe that it was possible that all of the nutrients were going to stay in there and that they could be living, that the living enzymes would remain intact. That still blows my mind, because when we harness so much living enzymes, and it's the plus in Juice Plus, it's the fiber, it's the phytonutrients, it's the microbes, it's all of that goodness, no mess, no fuss, and convenience. Can we just talk about convenience? Because even on a good day, I cannot chew 30 plus whole food plant superstars, like even on my best days. So on the worst days, complete health safety. On the best days, it's my edge.
Wow, 13 years on these babies. And I would have to say that when I first came in, I had toddlers in the home and it was all about the safety of the product. I believed in needing to supplement my diet, but a lot of products have health warnings all over the labels, no breastfeeding, no pregnancy. And that's just a huge red flag for me. Like if I can't take it then clearly I shouldn't have it in my body. My children shouldn't have it in their body. So the fact that it was safe for the whole family is what sold it for me back then. But what I can say now as a woman moving into perimenopause, this is my aging powerfully insurance policy. You need a strategy to really take care of your health at this stage of life. And this is what is keeping me mentally strong. It helps my moods, my energy. I want to function optimally as a woman. And I believe our health flows into all areas of our life. And these are just that beautiful daily insurance policy for me.
For me, these just make perfect sense because I just think full stop, they're ingenious. Like you think about the power that we know fruits, veggies, and berries have. Plants, like we need them. They're the only thing that was really here for us to eat. And yet, as evolution has occurred and we've got so clever as human beings, we've processed so many different foods. And I really don't think it's a coincidence that we're actually sicker now than ever before. So I just think that the fact how clever these products are, they're consumable. We can take them every day. We know that we can go from here to here in our nutritional intake naturally just by getting them in our diet. The fact that they're affordable, that just blows me away. Like if I actually went to the shops and tried to grab all the ingredients that were in here, there's no chance I could afford to do that every week, particularly for a family of 6. Yet I can have these on my bench, have the gummies for the kids, you know, and they literally ask for them every day. My children that have grown up with these ask for them every day. Like, they don't ask for a broccoli every day, or they don't ask for a leaf of kale every day, but I can give them these and know that I've ticked that box as a mum.